She was ready to quit. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. But what happened next is what separates the broken from the unbreakable. There was a young woman named Maya. She was 23, a barista by morning and a design student by night. She sketched logos on napkins between orders and stayed up until dawn fixing a portfolio that never seemed finished. She believed in one thing. If she worked harder than everyone else, the world would notice. Then the world replied with a stack of rejection emails. You're talented, but not right for this project. Thank you for applying, we went another direction. Each line landed like a slap. The coffee machine hissed louder. The studio lights felt colder. Her savings thinned. Her confidence thinned faster. Maya learned the language of failure, the tight throat before you open an email, the hollow walk back from the mailbox, the quiet that follows a deadline missed. Friends said, try something else. Her mother worried out loud. Even her sketchbook began to mock her, the pages whispering, maybe you're not enough. Days bled into nights of doubt. She woke to the same small apartment with the same small stove and the same small hope that would not grow. The smell of burnt toast felt like destiny. The sound of someone else's name on a job posting felt like a bell tolling for the end of her dream. Then, one cold evening, she spilled coffee on her portfolio. It was a small mess, a brown circle and a ruined page, but the panic that followed felt enormous. She sat on the floor, chest tight, and looked at the ruined work. Ready to burn it all, she considered one thing: quitting. At that moment, an old deliverman knocked on her door. He had delivered packages to her building for years. He was in his late 60s, face weathered, hands like maps of years worked. He saw the ruined page and did not flinch. He sat down on her tiny couch and said quietly, "You know what I did when I first started? I failed so much the postman stopped bringing mail to me for a while. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. It was the beginning." Maya blinked. The deliverman's voice was low but steady. He told her about the bakery he had tried to run at 20. It folded. He told her about jobs he lost, doors that closed, and debts that taught him how to stand again. He did not offer a pep talk. He offered a perspective. He had a slow, sure way of saying things that made the room feel bigger. That night, he left her with simple truths that landed like hammers, precise and heavy. Failure is proof you tried. Failure is a teacher that bruises you into wisdom. Every closed door is a hallway you couldn't see from the inside. Start small. Fail small. Learn faster. Courage is showing up with a new plan after the last one broke. These truths felt like tools, not miracles. They were things you could pick up and use. Maya folded the stained page into her notebook instead of throwing it away. She marked the spill with a tiny ink star and wrote under it, Lesson 1. She slept for a few hours and then returned to work. She began to change how she failed. Before, failure hit her like a storm and she let it drown her. Now, she inspected the storm. She asked, what was missing? Where did the design confuse people? Which colors read cheap? Which lines didn't sing? She started failing in rehearsal. She entered small contests, not the big ones. She asked local cafes to display a postcard rather than pitching a national brand. When the postcard didn't sell, she asked the owner why. When the contest dismissed her work, she emailed for feedback. When someone said her colors felt flat, she tried new palettes for a week, deliberately choosing options she feared. She failed. She learned. She failed again, faster, cleaner, smarter. Months of this method turned into a slow curve of progress. Each rejection came with a note. Each failure left a map. Her confidence returned not as a roar but as a steady hum. The portfolio that had once felt thin grew thicker, wiser, full of attempts and annotations that showed a mind that would not quit. Then one morning, a small studio in her city emailed her, "We loved your process notes. Your revisions show growth. Would you like to join our team on a trial basis?" It wasn't a headline or a viral break. It was a doorway, a narrow one. Maya accepted. She worked harder, yes, but differently. She prioritized learning over looking good. She asked for feedback, swallowed pride, and iterated until her revisions told a clear story. Years later, Maya led a small design team. Her students, young, nervous, brilliant, would ask her how she made it. She would show them the coffee-stained page with the tiny star and say, "This is where I learned to fail like a professional." Here are the lessons she taught them, short and true. Failure is a map, not a verdict. Your bruise today is tomorrow's proof of courage. Small failures are the building blocks of big wins. Feedback is the flashlight in a dark room. Follow it. Stay long enough in the problem to learn its language. The team practiced failing in public. They ran bad ideas on purpose to see where they bent. They made quick mistakes and fixed them faster. They learned to measure failure. What hurt was not the fall but the refusal to learn from it. Maya's triumph was not one big win. It was a series of tiny recoveries. It was the morning she stopped panicking at an email and instead did an inventory. What could she change? It was the time she took criticism, thanked the giver, and turned the note into an experiment. It was the day she taught a colleague to fold a ruined print into the lesson folder instead of trash. A ritual of respect for the hard work that made growth possible. So, my friend, if you have ever sat in your kitchen, fingers trembling over a rejection email, know this. Failure is not a full stop. It is a comma. It is the moment you draw a line under what didn't work and begin a new sentence. If you are afraid now, let fear be your fuel. If you are ashamed, let that shame teach you what to do differently. Fail early. Fail often. Fail with purpose. Then stand up and fail again until the pattern breaks and success emerges from the routine of trying. Like this video. Subscribe for more real and life-changing stories every day. And share this with someone who needs to hear, fail forward, rise stronger.